It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. And as customary on Tuesdays, I'm joined in studio by Nick Poliokini, and we find out what the hell is up with him. What's up with you?
It's good to be here again. Good to see you. Good to be seen. In fact, today was wild because I literally came from an event with Alamo Drafthouse. If you're joining us on YouTube. At Mr. Mo Kelly, you can see I am sporting the Alamo Drafthouse logo currently. And this is from a few years ago from their Pride campaign. But I actually got to check things out with Alamo today and kind of get a preview of what is coming for their summer season. So it pretty much kicks off because you have to think this coming weekend is Memorial Day, and that is the unofficial beginning of summer, right? Hypothetically,
yeah.
I mean, we always look at like those first few barbecues of the season.
Yeah, we're not looking at the calendar, which is going to be June before summer. That doesn't count.
No, because I'm like, that's not going to play out. But so I went to an event literally a few hours ago, and then popped in the car and came up here so that I could fill you in on all the details. So it's kind of funny and entertaining. This speaks to us from a certain age group. But Alamo Drafthouse is going to be featuring their food rhombus. Not unlike the food pyramid or the food square. What do we have? Before food pyramid, we had food square, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What, don't you remember when we were kids growing up in public school education? You had a food pyramid, which had all like, the sugar at the top. But like four food groups. There we go. Four food groups. There we go. Not a food square. You're not helping me here, bro.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
No, you're totally fine. Okay, so they food rhombus with a bunch of different food offerings, and I think we've talked about it here so often. And also, Alamo Drafthouse oftentimes gets tickets for Fridays. So, in fact, I actually, if you're tuning in right now and seeing on YouTube, I have a pair of tickets to give away from Alamo Drafthouse.
Uh-oh.
So you know how we roll. So we'll do a call solicit just before we go to break and get that. Thank you.
We're giving away more stuff tonight?
Right. I was like, you know how we roll. If I'm not feeding you or giving it to you here in studio, I'm going to bring stuff that I can give to those who are either listening to us on KFI or if you're following along with us on YouTube. So
too much good stuff.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Yes. That's a nice drop. So they were pretty much featuring all of their foodie stuff. This will be shown on my 15-minute foodie on social media. Again, I've got so much stuff. The most important one to follow is This Weekend with Nick because it's the easiest to remember. But all the details are at the link in bio there. So you can be able to try the new things that are coming out. But for the summer, their rhombus features the popcorn group, the burger group, the chicken group, Zero Proof group, which I am a fan of because I don't drink. So there's a lot of fun, creative cocktails. Also, if you want to catch a movie with Alamo, it is a beautiful location in downtown LA at the Block. And you can park there on site. And the best part is it's $3 parking with validation from the theater.
What?
Otherwise, it's $40. So this is what I'm saying. So like all the things point to yes, but the Zero Proof cocktail, especially if maybe like a Tuesday, you didn't want to, booze it up too much. It gives you something fun and festive to enjoy instead. They also are going to start offering, and you have a promotion that I have at the link in bio at Nick Poliokini This Weekend with Nick, but they have the all day brunch group and they are offering now through the 27th. If you go to drafthouse.com, you can enter for brunch all year sweepstakes, which means that you get to go on either, I believe it's a Saturday or Sunday. Don't know the day of the weekend, but every weekend you're able to go and get brunch and see a movie if you win the sweepstakes. So it's totally well worth it. Drafthouse.com, enter their brunch all year sweepstakes, and you've got now through the 27th that you can enter to win that. But there's just a lot of stuff going, and I think we've talked about it so many times here. Going to a theater, and I know like you and I both go to Sinopolis over by SoFi, and so because that's on our side of the world.
I got to stop you there because we've been mispronouncing it for all these years, and so I saw a commercial, and it's Cinepolis.
So there we go. I was like, and you think we try so hard to get it. So we go to Cinepolis. No, that's good. But Cinepolis is that premium offering, and I think that's the same thing. There's just not the interest in the non-premium offerings. And when I say premium offerings, better sound, better picture, better options, just like this. You have in-seat dining that they bring to you at Alamo Drafthouse. You order with a server that comes through. You can have cocktails. You can have drinks. There's so much to it. This is the experience now, as opposed to the rest of it. You just get on streaming.
Right. They have a champagne room. They give lap dances.
Yeah, exactly. No, they do. You're not wrong. It just depends on what the theme is.
Right.
So the funny part is we got to figure out what movie that's going to work with. Speaking of lap dances, though, I did just find out that they have drag queens with a TV show, or not a TV show, a game show on Fridays at Alamo Drafthouse.
Game show.
There's a game show that you can attend. So you have been there, and if you have not, and you definitely need to check it out, they have the separate restaurant and bar. So that they have available at Alamo Drafthouse. They have events that happen there. You can rent it out for yourself. You can also rent out a theater there, which is actually kind of a cool thing, because you can do that at a lot of places. But like here, you get all the premium offerings. Plus, you can rent out the theater and see whatever. Because, you know, maybe you're into what's coming up with Memorial Day weekend. There's so many films that are coming out, including one from Disney, which I'm very excited about. So Lilo and Stitch, the live action, comes out this Friday. Yes.
You're excited? I know you're excited for all things Disney. I'm just saying.
I am, and I only say this
Lilo
because I got to meet Stitch at the Santa Monica Pier. I also got to hang out with Stitch at Disneyland. No, he was driving around in a pink convertible, a la Barbie. It was pretty wild. I'm not even kidding you. You can see that on socials. Again, Nick Poliokini and This Week with Nick. And then I think Real Mouse Vibes and a couple of other friends were there. Patrick Dougal. Social media across the board. You can see all this, but it was incredible. So Stitch literally came to this planet, filmed his movie, and now he is doing his own media tour in his own little convertible around the Southland and elsewhere around the States. So it's been fun. It's been a really fun, special, unique experience leading into it. But I know we're coming up against it. So how about we give away the 2 tickets?
How do you want to give them away?
I don't know.
What number caller?
Let's do caller number 6.
Caller number 6.
Caller number 6.
Caller number 6?
Number 6, yes.
Okay, so we got a pair of tickets to Alamo
Drafthouse. Theater, cinemas, it's actually in downtown LA. So I've got that for you, and we'll take care of that.
We'll have more with Nick Poliokini in just a moment. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeart.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Radio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Nick Poliokini. What's up with Nick is on to tell us all what you do. Nick Poliokini. What's up with Nick is on with free 99 for you. Nick Poliokini. What's up with Nick is on to give us fun things to do around SoCal. What's up with Nick is on with Mo Kelly and his crew.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. And the folks in Motown, which is now the name for the YouTube chat. I don't know if it's the dating game or what, but people are like trying to set each other up, trying to ask each other out. I don't know what's going on. I didn't think it was that type of party. Just use protection. If not, just name it after me. You were saying, Nick.
How do I follow that? The things I was saying off air, we cannot speak of now. But Motown, I love that.
Yeah,
the Motown chat room.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. I got you. Okay. Again, thank you to Alamo Drafthouse. If you missed it, we were giving away 2 tickets, and I will have the winner here sooner than later. But there's so much going on in the Southland, and I did check out last week. I won't delve into it deeply, but went to 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of 12 hours each at Disneyland. So I covered the 70th anniversary from top to bottom, everything in between the 3 resort hotels, Downtown Disney, Disneyland Park, and Disney California Adventure Park. I saw the brand new World of Color Happiness. I saw the return of Wondrous Journey. I saw the return of Paint the Night. All the things. You can see that on social media. Nick Poliokini This Week with Nick, and so much more. But that was incredible. And you have every opportunity right now because the Disneyland Resort is also offering 4-day tickets at a discounted rate now through the summer season. Also, you can check out the resort hotels at a 20% discount now through the summer season. So they're actually kind of hooking it up for the holiday or through the summer season as we're getting ready to wrap up school now kind of thing. So
very cool.
I'm excited about it.
And it was still new for you, given that all that you've done with Disney over the years.
It was still new. All the things that I've done. It was incredible to see a handful of cast members who I have known for many years because I worked there from 98 through 2003.
And there were people still there from your time there?
In fact, from my time there, which have been 20 years.
We can do the math.
Years. Yeah, we can do. Y'all can do the math. Hey, chat room, Motown, do the math. I was there from 98 through 2003 and it's 2025. But beyond that, so many people have been there for life. And the weirder thing in a positive way for me is the handful of people who have not changed roles their entire career, 45, 50, 55, 60 years. There's a handful of employees that are still, I think we might have a couple of 70-year employees, but some of them have done the same role for decades. They haven't moved up through management. They just do it because of the love of the product, which is really impressive. So anyway, but let's talk about Free 99, last call, things that are coming up. Topanga Community Center is celebrating their 50 years of Topanga Days. That kicks off this Memorial Day weekend. Do not forget this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. That doesn't mean you have to do anything, but it does mean that it is going to be a little bit more unusual when it comes to traffic. Let's not forget I did traffic here for 20 years. Plan ahead because most people will be out on Monday because of Memorial Day Monday. Also, Fiesta Days will be going down in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and that will be happening Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So those are all things where some of the things like the French toast breakfast is
that sounds good.
Is $5.
Oh, that
and a
sounds even
fundraiser,
better.
right? So I was gonna say there's things that are free for both Topanga Days or Topanga Canyon Days and for Fiesta Days in La Cañada, Flint Ridge. Some of them are just, menial amounts. It's a really good time to get out, and the weather's supposed to be good this weekend. So
It's supposed to be perfect.
yeah, I was like, it's a great time for that, and also a great time for LA Fleet Week to come in. So it will be starting Friday and running through Monday. If you're especially on the South Bay side of the world, as Mo and I are, that's where everything goes down. So it's going to be LA Fleet Week happening for you in the South Bay, in the Port of Los Angeles, and San Pedro, Lomita, Torrance, everything down in that general area. Doesn't mean you won't see gentlemen and ladies in uniform elsewhere throughout the Southland, but it'll especially be heavy as they will be in Iowa. The USS Iowa will be having special tours, the Battleship Iowa, for Fleet Week weekend. And there's so much more. So you can always check out lafleetweek.com, lafleetweek.com. And then the last two things are kind of related, but both are celebrating strawberries. So the Garden Grove Strawberry Festival, it is their 65th year, which is absolutely incredible. They will be doing stuff all weekend long. Also, Vista Strawberry Festival down in San Diego County on Sunday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. So not only are we covering, we're pretty much doing everything straight down the coast, coming almost out of Ventura County and straight on through San Diego County. Are you looking at? No. It's just been a really good time for you to check things out. Especially because if you visit Nick Polioquino this weekend with Nick on Instagram, even on YouTube, you can actually see I did a special profile on the event last year and for Later with Mo Kelly. So there's an incredible event and opportunity for you, and then it's low cost or free 99 to get into.
I love low cost and free 99.
Absolutely.
And you always come with the good stuff.
I try. I do my very best, and I try to give you stuff. Not as much going on this week, although there are a lot of commencements that are underway. Cal State Long Beach had it on, as well as Cal State Fullerton. And they're happening on the most unique days, like yesterday, today, tomorrow.
Well, let me just also throw this in here.
Yeah.
I am promoting a martial arts tournament.
Oh,
for
exciting.
Hapkido, which is the Southern California Hapkido Invitational, which is Saturday. It's going to be at the Torrance Meeting Hall, which is part of the Torrance Cultural Center. It's going to run from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. You're going to see martial artists from all around the world, but more specifically in Southern California and neighboring states like Arizona. It's going to be a grand display of competition and also expertise. And it's only $5 for spectators.
Okay, but the best part is, do we get to see you?
Well, I'm promoting events, so I don't get to participate. I'll be there in uniform and directing folks and telling people what to do.
Why not?
But you can go to Southern California HapkidoInvitational.com, or you can purchase tickets on site. Just $5 as a spectator. If you happen to be a Hapkido stylist, not anything else, but a Hapkido stylist, it's not too late for you to sign up and be part of the tournament. You can go to Southern California Hop Keto. Southern California Hop Keto Invitational.com.
Okay, I think that's worth a trip over there on Saturday, honestly.
Because $5.
It's $5. It's low cost. It's in the South Bay, so if you want to grab a little bit of Fleet Week, you can do that too.
That's right.
It's all there. But no, and possibly, maybe, in, seeing Mo Kelly in the wild.
Yeah, I'll be out there, but, I'm like administrating stuff.
I understand that, but if we're talking back to Motown.
Yeah, and I'm also the MC. It's like, how did I get that job?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have a great time. So there's so much going on. Always check out social media. Of course, later with Mo Kelly, but Nick Poliokini, and this weekend with Nick. I've got all the stuff going on and so much more. Got stuff coming up here in the very near future with Center Theater Group, which is at the Amundsen, and a couple of other venues in downtown LA, and also Hamlet's coming up. And I've got a couple of other things that'll be coming up, and hopefully some more giveaways as the summer continues on.
You're busy, man.
I try.
I'm always busy. It's Later with Mo Kelly.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, it's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. I used to live in Studio City. And when you lived in Studio City, this was early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. In Studio City back then, you would see, quote unquote, celebrities everywhere because they lived in the surrounding areas. They either lived in Encino, Studio City, or somewhere around there. And you would see them at the supermarket. You would see them at the dry cleaners. And George Wendt, now the late George Wendt, is someone I would run into, I wouldn't say frequently, but somewhat often at Jerry's Deli. Jerry's Deli in Studio City was my hangout because I lived at Coldwater Canyon and Ventura Boulevard. And Jerry's Deli was walking distance. I'm not proud of it, but there are a lot of times I walked home drunk from Jerry's Deli. It was safe. I could just walk home. And I live right next to the Sportsman's Lodge. If you knew where that was, it's no longer there. But you would go in and you would see these people. I told you about, I would run into any number of stars. Ron Jeremy, you would see at Jerry's Deli a lot. I saw Robert Blake at the Sportsman's Lodge. So it's not uncommon to see people. Actor Wayne Knight, I'd run into at the Rouse on Ventura Boulevard in Vineland. I say all that to say, not to name drop. It was just something that it was expected. George Wendt was someone who would come into Jerry's Deli somewhat often, or just his schedule was matching mine. And he was always gracious. And of course, there was always some idiot who would say, "No," whenever he would walk in. I don't know how he felt about it, but he was always gracious when it was done. And I have never really been an actor, but I don't know what it would be like to be known for that one particular role that everyone wants to comment on, that everyone wants to say something about.
Afternoon, everybody. Hey, Mr. Peterson, what's the story? Boy meets beer, boy drinks beer, boy gets another beer. Evening, everybody. What's shaking, Mr. Peterson? What isn't? Afternoon, everybody. Hey, Norm, how's the world been treating you? Like a baby treats a diaper. Afternoon, everybody. Norm! Norman. How you feeling today, Norm? Rich and thirsty. Pour me a beer. Evening, everybody. What's the latest, Mr. Peterson? Zsa marries a millionaire. Peterson drinks a beer. Film at 11.
And you get the point. If you were not old enough to remember Cheers, it was one of those shows. The writing was so fantastic. The character interactions were amazing.
I've never heard that before. That was so good.
Wait. Did you not watch Cheers?
I watched like the first couple of seasons and I just kind of fell off. Not that it was bad. I just didn't have time. But
I love that show.
Baby treats a diaper.
Oh, no.
That's a great line.
But that was typical. There were so many great actors on that show, and somehow they passed the baton around where everyone was getting their jokes in, from Frasier to just everyone had their moment in the sun. Most shows, you don't see that with. In fact, you don't have sitcoms anymore.
Just real quick. One of my favorite things when I was watching it, and I think it was Norm. You can't do that anymore. And he's like, give me one more beer for the road. And he'll just finish it before he leaves the bar.
Yeah. It's a different time.
Yeah.
And George Wendt, the reason I'm talking about this, because when I had John Ratzenberger on the show, and this was right before Toy Story 4, I asked him whether there was any movement to get a Cheers reunion together. And this is something we talked about a lot on this show. We're talking about, you have to do it while you can. They just did the Beverly Hills Cop movie. And then you had John Aniston die shortly thereafter. So you have to do these things while you can. We were talking about the Coming to America sequel. And then you have James Earl Jones, who had passed shortly thereafter. And I desperately wanted the Cheers reunion show. Of course, there were a lot of issues with cast members not liking each other. You had the passing of Kirstie Alley. You had the problem of Ted Danson and with, I guess, allegedly his problems with other cast members. We never had the opportunity to get the gang back together. And then you have moments like this to bring it full circle when you have George Wendt, who played Norm, obviously, on Cheers, who died today at the age of 76. And you didn't really know much about him, if only because he maintained a relatively low profile. He was a family man. He had 3 children, if I'm not mistaken, but he was not someone who was always in the spotlight. And maybe that's why Cheers worked, because there were a lot of would-be stars, but not everyone was trying to be a star on that show. Yes, you had stars come out of that show. Obviously, you had Woody Harrelson, who obviously came out of that show and went on to do other things. But by and large, the show itself was not necessarily the launching pad for these major careers. And I don't think you'll be able to duplicate the type of chemistry they had on that show. And in large part, due to actors just like George Wendt. I know that I'm not the only one who will miss his contributions to that show and more. I didn't know that he had 6 Emmy nominations as a supporting actor. I didn't know that, but it makes sense when you think about where Cheers ranks in the annals of television history.
The Animals?
Yeah.
I mean, he was Ham, so Animals does make sense.
It does make sense.
It totally makes sense.
But anyhow, this is I was thinking about my conversation with John Ratzenberger for most of the show tonight, because I specifically asked him, it's like, any chance of getting the gang back together? And he said, we've been trying. There's just no interest, paraphrasing him, from the network or the streaming platforms for it to happen. I don't know why it didn't happen. I have to assume had to have been personal animosity between a lot of the actors, unfortunately. Did you interview anyone from the Cheers cast? Mark, I have to ask.
I interviewed Shelley Long once, and she made me wait.
That counts.
She made me wait for like 40 minutes, and I could see how people might have found her somewhat difficult.
No, and from what I hear, and this is just speculation, Shelley Long did not get along with a lot of the cast members, and that was some of the sticking points as to why it never actually happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the contribution of George Wendt, though. It takes a lot to make an alcoholic barfly lovable.
Maybe that was it, because he was the everyman.
Yeah, I say this as a former bartender off and on during my writing career.
But if you've ever, let's say, been a drinker in your life, you know the Cheers experience where you walk in, you know all the regulars, and the regulars sit in the same place every single day. I was a regular, to bring it full circle, at Jerry's Deli. I would always sit at the corner at Jerry's Deli. It was kind of like my spot to sit. And then you'd see the same people, you see the regulars. So a show like Cheers, probably beyond me, spoke to a lot of people. And the character of Norm by George Wendt probably spoke to a lot of people personally. So it feels like you lose someone that you knew because you could identify with him, or you felt like you knew him.
Oh, there's no question about it. I had the same experience as you in a little bar called the Tin Hatter on the corner from my Cool Pad in Seattle. They put your regular drink right down in front of you,
waiting for you.
Yeah. It's sad yet nice.
We missed the opportunity, but hopefully there will be some other Cheers show. Maybe this will be the impetus to get as many of the cast back together as they can, because we're losing them. And I think when we lose these cast members, we lose a part of ourselves, because that was a part of my early adulthood. Love that show.
We're always going to have that show. And weirdly, the biggest fan of the show was Kurt Vonnegut, the author. He loved that show.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, I have my final thought, and it's going to be thrown together, because what the hell is Bill Belichick thinking? Well, actually, I can tell you, I know exactly what he's thinking.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And is getting good to him.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I was walking in the hallway and I was listening to Mark Ronner do the news. And he was saying that Bill Belichick, the former New England Patriots coach, Hall of Fame coach, is getting married. He just got engaged. You're saying Bill Belichick popped the question to his 24-year-old girlfriend? Bill just turned 73 last month. Don't get me wrong. If you're 73, you're not likely to get any more hotties in life, not in the natural course of life. But I'm just talking to the men right now, just to the men. Ladies, you'll just have to excuse us, okay? Because it ain't about you, what I'm getting ready to say. There's an old adage for men. You do not marry the stripper. Not saying that Jordan Hudson, that's his girlfriend, fiance, is not in love with Bill. I'm not saying that she's a stripper. I'm just saying that she wasn't searching the world over for a man who is triple her age to call her own, and she just happened to hit it off with the Bill Belichick. I just don't believe that. The old adage is you don't marry the stripper. The stripper is a metaphor here. And I'm saying it as a pearl of wisdom. The analogy is the stripper is obviously physically attractive. We know why men are attracted to that. And the stripper's job is to make men like her. That's her job. Jordan is a 24-year-old beauty queen. She's on the pageant circuit, even still. And if I'm Bill, I'm saying take the win. Take the win. You've already got her as a girlfriend. You don't have to ask her to marry her. In fact, asking her to marry you, Bill, is bidding against yourself. She's not going anywhere. Why? Because I'm not so sure it's true love. Nobody's putting in a better offer, Bill, okay? You are working against yourself here. Bill Belichick doesn't need to buy the proverbial cow, as they say. I know, I'm just talking to the man. Nobody would have faulted Bill if he didn't put a ring on it. Beyonce, shout out. Have fun. Go out to dinner at 4 p.m. like 73-year-old men do. Have her tuck you in bed by 7 p.m. A friend told me long ago, don't try to be happier than happy. Being happy is enough. Because when you try to get happier than happy, that's when you mess things up. And I'm sure Jordan rocked Bill's 73-year-old world. Guaranteed. Men, you know what I'm talking about. I'm only talking to you. But what would compel Bill Belichick to ask for her hand in marriage other than the sex? Other than that. Let's be honest. This is a short-term relationship. One way or the other. Either Jordan is leaving Bill or Bill is leaving. But they're not riding off into the sunset together. Bill Belichick will not be the first or the last man to lose his mind over great sex. I don't believe this is a great love story. Maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. We're just talking about sex, right? Now, I do feel sorry for Bill on some level because this story is only going to end badly, prenup or not. This story has no happy ending, and there is no happily ever after. Bill Belichick should be too old not to know better. Don't marry the stripper. Don't marry the beauty pageant queen. Just date her. I mean, they're like 49 years between you two. It's okay not to get married. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
The more you know, the easier it is to avoid the idiots around you.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.